Greetings, my fellow intellectuals and bookworms. Today is the day for a long overdue book review. Well, new book review. Rhyming unintentional. Sorry for not making videos for a while before the last upload. Been really busy with school, especially senior year. It's mainly just stuff such as submitting SATs, or ACTs in my case, applying to colleges, mailing to colleges, waiting for colleges, having teachers say you should care when it's senior year anyway. So, in addition, my video on why I hate Amazon, well, after a few months of trying to do without it, I quickly realized how indispensable it was and how there weren't many other options. So, that was a failure, and I'm back to ordering from Amazon because of the convenience and what have you. But it's not because I compromised my principles, it was because there was almost no other options. The nearest Barnes & Noble is 11 miles away, and while I like patronizing them, it's very hard to do so. BarnesandNoble.com is a decent replacement, but it's easily 3 or 4 times more expensive than Amazon. So it's just hard. In addition, even with my recent problem with Amazon, ordered a book from them, and, well, technically not from them, from one of their sellers, and it's been 3 or 4 weeks, and it still hasn't gotten here. It's not really Amazon's fault, it's really just a shitty seller. Meanwhile, some books that I ordered from as far away as Cleveland and Mishawaka, Indiana, I was able to get in like 2 days. So, without further ado, here's your new book review. Today we'll be reviewing the book Deep Water. Basically, it's about hydroelectric dams and their impacts. It's a interesting, narrative plus informative book which weaves together the opinions of dam builders, architects, government employees, the World Bank, and other U.S. development funds who pay for dams and projects. And it talks about the pros and cons of building dams. It tries to not slant either way, either pro-dam or anti-dam. So it means that there's a good deal of testimony from people who hate dams and who have been displaced, or one activist in India who tried to drown herself to stop the dam from being built. But it also has stories of dam engineers who build the things to balance it out. It does a decently good job of staying neutral, although I kind of think it slants anti-dam. It is a really informative piece that basically says, in the end, causes you to ask important questions like, if hydroelectric dams are important to stop global warming, how can we minimize the impacts on the environment and its people? Are the pros worth the cons? And I would have to say that my answers to those questions are almost certainly yes. Global warming is life-threatening, and it's going to threaten our survivability on this planet unless we do anything to cut, and mainly that includes cutting emissions reductions cuts as rapidly as possible. I fear that time is running out. So we need to get ourselves off of coal entirely, and that's a hard order at all to fulfill in the best of times. I think that we should switch to natural gas immediately. Now, before fellow environmentalists jump down my throat, I'm not saying we keep using natural gas indefinitely. I'm saying we use it as bridge fuel since it's substantially cleaner and reduces emissions substantially and easier. In addition, it's substantially cheaper than coal now, so power companies are shutting down coal plants left and right, selling them for scrap, selling off the coal, and building new natural gas plants. So it's an easy policy solution. Now, will it solve climate change entirely? No, you've got emissions from planes, trains, and automobiles and petrochemicals. But as soon as we solve energy itself, things like liquid fuels become easier, because solving energy is actually the hardest part. Liquid fuels is only second hardest part. Anywho, so I believe that hydroelectric dams are worth the cost. Now hear me out. A hydroelectric dam may displace a village, even like in China, the Three Gorges Dam, 1 million people. But 1 million people displaced is nothing compared to the millions of people who stand to die from global warming, and and the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people who probably have already died of global warming right now. So I would say it's worth it. Just like wind turbines are worth the trade-offs of killing endangered species of eagles. Now, I'm not saying I hate eagles, and I think we should make an effort to actually prevent death by wind turbine, but I'm saying that the costs are worth it. And I think that's what this book is. It's both a scathing expose and an insightful piece, which is neither for or against, but is trying to get you to think. So, great book. I recommend you buy it either at your Barnes & Noble or your other local bookstore, or Amazon. So, I would give it something like 4 out of 5 stars. Why not 5 out of 5 like the other ones? Well, because as hard as it tries to stay neutral, the anti-dams dialogue in it is presented as more emotionally, satisfying, if you will. The stories are heart-wrenching. Meanwhile, the engineers and bureaucrat stories are presented as dry, emotionless, speech of automatons, which is generally how we think of bureaucrats. But it's not necessarily true. I'm sure bureaucrats care about people. It's just they're cold and calculating, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. So, try as it might, it can't keep anti-dam stance out of it entirely, and it seems to slant towards them. So, there you go. Like, comment, and subscribe if you have not done so. This is Sean Hartnett from the channel Sean Hartnett. And I will also give you a sneak peek at book reviews I'm going to do. I'm going to review this one, Zombie Survival Guide, Fatal Menace of MRSA, Surgeon X, comic book, 28 Days Later, Omnibus, Red Notice, The Compound, The Lexus and the Olive Tree, Warrior, Understanding the Contemporary Middle East, Richard Nixon's The Real War, and I made a mistake in my last video. I noticed it as soon as I said it and after I recorded it, but I forgot to fix it. So here's a correction. Richard Nixon was not impeached. He resigned before he was impeached, but he committed a scandal so great that if he didn't resign, he would have been impeached. Thanks for watching, and bye.